Hello, good morning. I am Boithoki. Welcome to Boithoki Educational Society. You watch the class, and if you like the class, please subscribe. Today we will start Unit 5. I am teaching you English. We will start today Unit 5 English Language Teaching, and today we will cover the topic different approaches to language teaching. So, English. It's a language. It is a worldwide language. English is spoken almost all over the country. But is English our native language? No. India is a big country and there are so many languages and dialects. So English is not at all our native language. Suppose some of us, our native language is Hindi, some of us is Bengali, or in different it varies from different states to state. So English, we study English as a second language and as a foreign language. Okay. Now, what is language actually? Only speaking only? Yes, we communicate through language, but language has a specific system. Okay, so language must be systematic. So features of language, these are the features of language. What are the features of language? It must be systematic. Okay, systematic. Then, what are the other features? Yes, so it can be both verbal as well as non-verbal. Okay, verbal as well as non-verbal. Now, if it is verbal, so there must be some spoken language. We used sounds and speeches. So verbal language is associated with sounds and speeches. Okay. So it is, of course, there will be some sounds, speeches, then writing also definitely will come in verbal language. Okay, spoken as well as written. And if it is non-verbal language, then what will come then? Gestures, postures, body language, etc. Okay, so there will be no sound, no specific sound, but what will come here? Gesture, postures, body language. Anything more? Imitation. Okay, so these are come from different imitations also come here. Okay, so these are the elements of verbal and non-verbal languages. Okay, so what are the other features of language? Shall I remove this portion? Okay. there will be of course some words, letters, sentences. Okay, and they are used in a specific way. There is a we use language as a mode of communication. Okay, so for language there will be definitely a purpose of communication. Okay, so communicative purpose. Got it? And what will come next? Some meaning. There will be some complete sense. Okay. If a child babbles, does it make any sense? A very newborn baby or 3 or 4 months baby, they utters many sounds, but is it called? Can it be called any language? No, these are only babbles. But it can be a language. It in future it transforms to a language, because the child, that baby, he or she is imitating the elders. He or she is trying to utter something, but he or she can't express it. These are called babbles. But babbles is not any language. But when after various imitation, when he or she can form some words or sentences, then it transforms to a language. Okay, so language, definitely there will be some specific complete sense and meaning. Okay, and it has a specific structure. Okay, so specific pattern in English language. What is the specific pattern to write or speak? We follow generally SVO pattern. So specific pattern. Which pattern? For English language we use SVO pattern. What is SVO pattern for English? Okay. SVO pattern. What is this? S means subject. Yes. V means verb. And O means object. Right? So, if we make a sentence, the sentence will start with a subject, and after subject there will be a verb, and then object and rest of the part. I said, today I have roti in my breakfast. Today I have roti in my breakfast. So I here is sub, or today remove today. I eat rice at lunch. So I is subject, eat is verb, and rice is object. Got it? But if we translate it into any other language, generally in Bengali we said ami. If we translate it into English, if with this SVO pattern, what will be this? Ami khai bhat. Kintu but this is not a specific structure of Bengali language. Bengali, if we speak in Bengali, this will be translated as Ami bhat khai. So in Bengali language, it is this pattern will change into SOV pattern. Okay. For Bengali language, what will be there? SVO pattern. So not SVO, SOV pattern. Okay. So each language may be some specific pattern of central structure. What is followed in English may not be followed in Bengali or Hindi or Gujarati or any other language, or in some European language. So language must be some specific pattern of sentence structure. Okay. So these are the features of language. Now, how will you study language? So there is a subject that is associated with study of language. The systematic and scientific study of language is called linguistics. Linguistics. What is linguistics? It is the systematic and scientific study of language. Now, linguistics can be divided into two types of linguists and two types of branches. One is, number one, it is general linguistics. And another one is practical linguistics. What is general linguistics? It is based on rules. Actually, there is a specific type of learning, general linguistics. First, the learner of the language, he observes the language pattern. So observation will come. Observation. The person who does not know the language, he will observe the language. He will observe the examples. He or she will observe the pattern. Okay. Then he makes some generalization. He or she makes some generalization. Okay. And so first he or she observes how the language is formed, then he or she will make generalizations. Oh, that means he learns the rules, the patterns, the system of that particular language. Okay. And the last stage of learning general linguistics is make conclusion or drawing conclusion. Okay, then the last part is drawing conclusion. Okay, so these are the 3 steps of learning general linguistics. Linguistics is the scientific and systematic study of language, and this is divided into 2 parts: general linguistics and practical linguistics. So general linguistics, how will we learn general linguistics? So these are the 3 steps. First, we observe the pattern of language, we follow some examples, and after that we generalize it, we make some generalizations, and finally we draw the conclusion regarding the language. Got it? And what is practical linguistics? That is applied in our real life situation. Okay, it is applied to real life situation. Okay, so linguistic, what is called linguistic, is it clear now? Now there are some parts of linguistics, some components of linguistics, not part, components of linguistics. So what are the components? May I remove this? These components are verbal components. Okay, actually in non-verbal component, what are the non-verbal components? As already mentioned, gestures, postures, body language, imitations, these are the non-verbal components. And what are the verbal components of literature? Linguistic components of linguistics. So first, language starts with some sound. Okay, in language, if it is verbal language, there must be some sound. Okay, so sound. So this is the component is phonetics. Yes, under verbal. Non-verbal components are gesture, postures, imitation, body language. These all I already mentioned, and these are the verbal components of linguistics. So phonetics. Phonetics is study of sound. Okay. Like, what are the types of sound? Suppose S sounds is pronounced as sa. It may be sa. If it is sh, then it will be sha. Okay. H sound, it is pronounced as ha. Got it? B sound, it pronounced as ba. A sound will be pronounced as a or a. I, if it is short I, it will be e, and if it is long I, then it will be e. So these are the study of sound. And the next component is phonology. What is phonology? What is phonology? What is called phonology? Phonology is the pattern of sound. This is study of sound, and phonology is the pattern of sound. Okay. Yes. Suppose in English, if I write the spelling, excuse me, but K is silent here. Okay. So if in English language any word starts with KN, so K sound is silent. Okay. But if it is spelled in German language, suppose this one, this will not pronounced as knob. In German it will be as Konob. Konob means boy. Okay. Sorry. This is boy. So in it varies from different language to language. Okay. So this is called phonology. How it is pattern of language. Okay. The next is in linguistics. So first came sound. Then after sound, what will come? Any letter or word. So this is called morphology. So what is morphology? This is associated to words. And the minimal part of minimal unit is called morpheme. What is morpheme? This is the smallest unit of a word. And it cannot be divided into other pieces, but it cannot be shortened anymore. Okay. Suppose if I teacher, what is the morpheme here? Teach. Yes, teach. This part can't be shortened anymore. So this is called, and if I add any affix, this ear suffix, then it is a new word is formed. Teach is a verb form, and who teaches, whose work is teaching, is called teacher. So teacher is a noun form. So after adding any suffix or prefix, part of speech may change, or sometimes the meaning is also changed. Got it? To understand what is morpheme, now what is the next component? So what it is done? Now word is formed, but word, there would be in a sentence, there maybe if it is called yes or no type sentence, then only one word is if no, okay. But if it is in a sentence, so one word is not at all sufficient. At least two words or more than two words we need. So next, after words, we need a sentence. So language must be in language there will be some sentence structure. So this is called syntax. What is syntax? Syntax is the pattern of sentence. It is related to, associated to sentence. Okay. And the last component of linguistics is semantics. Semantics. What is semantics? Semantics is associated with meaning. A language must be meaningful. A sentence must be meaningful, otherwise it does not have any sense. So semantics is associated to meaning. Which one? Syntax is associated with sentence. No, sentence. At one pattern of sentence, the structure of sentence is called syntax. Okay. And then last is semantics. Semantics is, it is associated with meaning. So that sentence should have a complete meaning. Okay. Only SVO pattern is not sufficient. It should have any meaning, a particular meaning of a sentence. That is called semantics. Got it? And there is another element. This is called pragmatism. Pragmatics. This is used in real life. Okay. This is used in reality. And this is, pragmatics is form of all these elements. Okay. Yes, all these components together they form pragmatics. This is used in real life situation, used in reality. So these are the components of linguistics, and linguistics is the systematic and scientific study of language. Now, how will we teach language? You already know that English is not our native language. It is not our first language. It is not our mother tongue. So English is our second language. Okay. Or it is called, it's our target language. Why we learn any other language? It is learned for some specific purpose. Okay. At home we don't speak English, but we have to learn English for specific purpose. Okay, we have to learn it for our study, for higher study, for our job. If we travel to other country, we should know more than other language, more than one language, more than our mother tongue. Okay, if we visit to other countries, suppose we went to any Singapore or Thailand or any European country, so they know English is the world language. So all the countries, they almost know English, at least to some official purpose also. So English is our target language or second language. So there are some methods for second language learning. Okay, these are some approaches of second language learning. Now there are two types of approach for any language learning. One is descriptive approach, and the second is prescriptive approach. Now, why should we learn about this approach? Because in any language, I already mentioned that there are some specific patterns. So there's in all languages there is specific grammatical structure. Okay, if we want to know the language, we have to know more or less the grammatical rules. We have to follow the grammatical rules for speaking, for reading or writing. Okay, and for listening also. We have to understand the grammatical pattern. Now, what is descriptive approach? It is the practical use of grammar. Okay, this is the use of grammar. And what is prescriptive approach? This is the rules of grammar. Prescriptive approach is used when we study, when we want to learn something, we have to follow the rules. So that time we use prescriptive approach. Prescriptive means which is prescribed. That means as doctor made any prescription, how to take this medicine, when to take medicine, just like that. This is a prescription of grammar. How to use this language? What are the rules of this language? Okay. So this is called prescriptive approach. And descriptive means when we use the language in real life situation. Okay. So this is called descriptive approach. And with this approach, there are several methods where in some methods we used descriptive approach, and there are some methods where we use prescriptive approach. Okay, so we will start now different methods of language teaching. There are several methods. Like first one is grammar translation method. This is the abbreviation, okay? GT is the abbreviation. Now, this method was first propounded by Karl Plotz, who is the exponent grammar translation method is also known as classical method, of language teaching, language learning and teaching. Now, why this is called a classical method? What are the classical language you know? Which language is called as classical language? This is Latin, Greek in European language, for European country, Latin and Greek. These are called classical language. Okay. So this method, this grammar translation method was used to teach Greek and Latin language. And this is the classical method. This is used to teach Latin and Greek language. And this is the oldest and traditional approaches in language teaching. This is oldest and traditional approach. So this method of teaching foreign language is derived from the classical method of teaching Greek and Latin. Okay, that is why this method is called classical method. Grammar translation method is also called classical method. Okay. Now, how to teach language, how to teach second language or target language through grammar translation method. How to use this? So in grammatical translation method, importance is given on teaching grammar, grammatical rules, and translating the target language into learner's mother tongue. So importance is given on grammatical rules. So learners, they first acquire the rules, they first learn the rules, grammatical rules, then they used it. Okay, so first they learn the rules, then they used in practical purpose. Okay, so which approach was followed here? Prescriptive approach. Okay, so prescriptive approach followed here. Okay, next, use of mother language, mother tongue. Mother tongue is used, the learner's native language is used first, and learners, what they did, they translate the target language into native language and vice versa. Okay, so translation from mother tongue to target language. Target language means which is our second language or foreign language. What? No, translation from mother tongue to target language and vice versa. So they translated mother language to target language, as well as they also translated target language to native language also. Okay, but emphasis was given on mother tongue, native language. And there was very little use of target language. Okay, and this type of method was memory based. Okay, so those were the educators or teachers, they encourage the students to memorize the grammatical rules and the list of vocabulary. So this was memory based. emphasis was given on memorization and rote learning. Okay. So these are the some features of grammar translation method. Now, what are the principles to be followed for grammar translation method? Shall I remove? What are the principles? So, literary language, that is principles. These are the principles. Literary language, that means written language, that is superior to spoken language. So emphasis was given on literary language. Rather than spoken language. Next, the primary skills was to improve, primary skills to be improved were reading and writing. Okay. So it was used to improve reading and writing skills. In any language, there are 4 language acquisition skills. What are they? This is called LSRW. Okay. L means listening. S means speaking. Then reading. And W is writing. This is called LSRW skill. Actually, a child first acquires the skills of listening skill. Through listening, he imitates. He or she imitates the elders. Then, after imitation, then he or she try to pronounce, try to utter some words. Okay, that time he learns to acquire speaking skills. Okay, and after that he or she, they are given some pictures. They see some pictures, and from there try to learn the reading, try to learn what is written under the picture. Okay, so that time they try to develop their reading habits, try to develop the reading skill, and after that, when sometimes happen, they can spell and read the sentence but can't write till now. Then after reading, understand, after identifying the letters, then they try to learn the writing skill. Okay, sometimes what happen, they do some in some what happen in walls, they do some paintings, like they made some scratching. Then sometimes what happen, they do in schools, now the teachers encourage them to draw the lines, then they make marks with the letters. Okay, so first skill is listening, then it is followed by speaking, reading, and after all writing skill comes at last. Okay, so in grammar translation method, emphasis was given to improve reading and writing skills, because focus was given on the grammatical rules, the semantics and syntactic structure. Okay, so it was used to improve reading and writing skills. And focus on accuracy. Focus on accuracy rather than fluency. Okay, focus is given on accuracy rather than fluency. Why accuracy? Because the learners, they learn the grammatical rules, they learn the vocabularies, they mark up the vocabularies, they learn the rules first. So when they understand the rules, how it is formed, how it is the structure, definitely they will learn it accurately. But fluency is related to spoken language. Okay, fluency is related to real life situation. In practical part, it is used for practical purpose. So accuracy is focused rather than fluency. And teacher is the authority in the classroom. So this is teacher centric approach. Okay, this is teacher centric approach, because teacher is the authority and students are following the teacher. The rules, as teacher is saying, they are following the same rules. Okay, so nothing new is learned. Whatever teacher knows, he imparts his knowledge to these teachers. Okay, and this is a deductive approach. Why deductive? Because deductive is from general to specific, right? So there is a specific rules, specific pattern, grammatical rules, specific vocabularies are there. So first the learners, they are learning the rules. Okay, so they make some generalization, and after that they followed it in, they used it in practical purpose. Okay, so this is deductive approach, or it is called top down approach. Okay, so these are the principles of grammar translation method. Now, what are the advantages? What are the merits of grammar translation method? Now, what are the advantages? Here, both teacher and student, both of them used mother tongue. Okay. During teaching, teacher is also using mother tongue, and during learning, student is also using mother tongue. Okay. So there is a flexibility of language. Flexibility of using mother tongue. Generally, what happens in a classroom when English is taught, sometimes one student, he asks some question in Hindi or in Bengali or any native language. That time in an English medium school, what happened? The teacher rebuked the child. Hey, why are you speaking in your mother tongue? Speak in English only. This is English class. Don't speak in any other language. But here what happened? Teacher is also using mother tongue, because focus is on translation. Teacher give instructions in mother language, then he taught in mother language and make some translation, how it is translated to mother language. He told do some translation, make it in your own language, in mother tongue, translate in your mother tongue, or sometimes text in mother tongue is given and teacher instructs them, translate into your target language or English language or second language. So there is a, here teacher is also using mother tongue during instruction and teaching, and learners are also using their mother tongue during learning. So there is a flexibility of using mother tongue. Okay. Then it is translation based. So translation of new words provides clear understanding to the learner. In grammar translation method, word to word is translated from mother tongue to target language and vice versa. So they understand it is a clear understanding of both the language. Okay. So clear understanding is improving. Okay. There is no ambiguity between two languages. So this is there. So as it is translation based, there is a clear understanding of both the language, and maximum of known to unknown maxim is used. So one of the maxim of learning is known to unknown. The students first follow the known, then after that they move to unknown object. Okay. So here the which maxim is used? Known to unknown maxim. Okay. Next, teacher can easily evaluate the learner's comprehension. In grammar translation method, comprehension skill is improved. Okay. Maxim, it can be called a process. Okay. If you suppose you know what is apple, what is an apple, you know the size of an apple, you know the shape of an apple, but you have never tasted it. So apple, you know, it's a fruit. It is, you know this apple is a fruit. It is red in color and shape is round. That you know. But how does it taste? Is it sweet or sour or bitter or hot or salty? And what kind of fruit it is? Is it juicy fruit? Is it very hard? Is it crunchy? Or you have to gallop it? That you don't know. But when you know the apple, then first you know the what is apple, then you learn how it tastes. You move from your known to your unknown. Okay. So next is comprehension skill is improved. Okay. Because reading and writing skill is emphasized in grammar translation method. So that time student develop their reading ability and writing ability. So that time improvement of comprehension skill. And teacher can easily evaluate the students' performance. Okay. Easy evaluation. And next, power of vocabulary is improved. Power of vocabulary is built. Okay. How skill of vocabulary is improving? Because same method, that is, it is a translation method. So whatever they know in mother tongue, they mug up the words, of target language, and in this way there is the improvement of vocabulary. And emphasis is given on reading and writing skill. Next is So these are the advantages or merits of grammar translation method. Now, what are the disadvantages or demerits of grammar translation method? Can you point out? What are the limitations? No, second language, these are the methods of teaching second language only. Okay. So, I already mentioned this improves reading and writing skill. So, it does not improve fluency. It does not improve oral fluency. So, demerits, what are the demerits? Does not improve oral fluency. And speaking skill, listening is emphasized, listening is given importance because teacher giving instruction and they are following, so definitely they have to listen. Okay, so speaking skill is ignored. Okay, and then it may be tedious and uninteresting. Okay, it may be, sometimes it may be uninteresting. And which is the most prominent disadvantage is, as students they are learning through their mother tongue through the translation method, it does not build the confidence. Okay, because when they are speaking in target language, first they translated it through their mother tongue. Okay, so it does not build the confidence. So these are the disadvantages of grammar translation method. Understand? Any queries regarding this? So this method is not appropriate method. Okay, this is not any appropriate method of learning second language or foreign language. So there was another method was applied. This is called direct language teaching method, direct method. Number 2 is direct method. And who first developed direct method? It is Charles Maximilian Berlitz. And Henry Sweet. And this method is also known as natural approach. Also known as natural approach. Here in this method, unlike the grammatical method where translation method was used, use of mother tongue, here no use of mother tongue. Only the target language is used in the class. Only target language is used. And in grammar translation, it is just opposite to grammar translation method. In grammar translation method, how the grammar was taught? It was rule based. Okay, rule based. That was the deductive approach. But here in direct method, grammar is taught through inductive method. Okay, so this is inductive method, inductive approach. How inductive approach? First, learners they were provided examples. Okay, they were provided different examples, and then they are told to deduce the rules. They find out the rules. First, from the example, they find out the rules. In grammar translation method, what happened? They were provided the rules, then they make examples. Okay, they construct sentence or build vocabulary, etc. But in direct method, first example is provided, then the learner they find out the rules. Got it? And emphasis is given on listening and speaking. Okay, so in grammar translation method, focus was on reading and writing ability, and in direct method emphasis is on listening and speaking skills, and focus on their in correct pronunciation. Okay. So these are the characteristics of direct method. What are the characteristics? This is a natural approach. This is in this method only target language is used, no usage of native language, and it is an inductive approach because students first cite examples and from that example they try to find out the rules. Okay. Then emphasis is given on listening and speaking skills, and focus was on correct pronunciation. You have to pronounce like the native speakers of the target language. Okay. So these are the features of direct method. Now what are the techniques used here in grammar translation method? Which learning technique and teaching technique was used? Only translation. Okay, translation, memorization and rote learning. Okay, only this method was used in grammar translation method, but in direct method there was techniques are used like question answer exercise. Question and answer. Teacher is asking question in target language and student have to answer it in target language only, no use of mother tongue. And there is dictation. Sometimes teacher dictates the whatever is taught, and they have to write their dictates in second language or English, and the students by listening the instruction they copy it down from the instruction in target language only. Okay. Then reading out loudly. Reading out loudly. Teacher encourage the student to read out loudly. And self-correction. Students distributes the copy to other students to make the corrections themselves. Okay. And conversation practice. So these are the techniques they are used in direct method. Okay. And it is also called the natural approach of language teaching. So the time is over now. Okay, we will continue in next class. If you like this video, please subscribe the channel. Thank you.